All right. So the rest of this conversation with this bot deals with the possibility of inventing the truth machine sometime off in the future and how that would impact society. And I don't know how much you guys know about this idea I've got, but the cool thing is, because it's something that's going to happen in the future and it's based upon scientific, analytical basis, that means that we don't even have to wait until it's invented to know that what we do right now may be scrutinized by this machine in the future. So the beauty of the truth machine is that we just knowing that it could potentially be invented, that right away should make us follow the golden rule right now. That's my whole thing in life, is to explain that to people, that potential possibility. And what my goal is to impart something I'm calling non-religious accountability. I mean, why should people be good to each other if they don't have a reason to do it? If they don't believe in God, and or even if they do believe in God, they say, well, screw it, I don't care if I go to hell or whatever. I mean, they don't have any accountability. But if there's going to be a machine that could, show what they've done, and if it could happen in the present before you actually die and be judged by God, maybe yes, maybe no. If it's something we can use in a court of law right now, then yeah, then you're gonna go ahead and start following the golden rule, okay? But the idea that it may be invented in the future should make people start following the golden rule right now. As soon as they hear this message, they start following the golden rule. That's the whole beauty of my idea of the truth machine, okay? And believe me, I've gone through great lengths to prove it and to show the basis is possible, and I actually do believe it's possible, and so I think people should start to be good, start following the golden rule, because you never know, they might invent this machine, and they may be able to replay the universe and see what you've actually done in the past. All right. Anyway, that's the idea. So I want to try to sell this idea to this genius bot right now. Let's see what he thinks about it. And the results are incredible here. Again, I can't believe the intelligence of this machine here. It's gonna start giving me answers, and it never knew the concept. It never was exposed to that concept before, about this retroactive reason to start following the golden rule, because they may invent something in the future, and all that stuff. But this thing is so intelligent, he's gonna actually figure it out. He's gonna speculate upon it like he does everything else. This is like really incredible here, okay? So let's go. I say, let us call this device the truth machine, because it is capable of replaying the truth of the universe upon demand. What would be the impact upon society if the truth machine already existed? And remember, my vision of the truth machine is that we're going to use it in a court of law, to make people accountable, right? Okay. So, but I didn't say that here, but he'll pick up on it. Don't worry. Okay, now watch this. This is another one of the most amazing things that I've ever experienced my whole life right here. Okay. If a machine like the truth machine already existed and was capable of accurately simulating the universe and replaying its history upon demand, it would likely have a profound impact upon society. Firstly, it would revolutionize our understanding of the universe and our place within it. We would have a comprehensive understanding of the laws of physics and the forces that govern the universe. This would likely lead to significant advancements in fields such as astrophysics, cosmology, and quantum mechanics. Secondly, it could have significant implications for our understanding of consciousness and the nature of reality. If the truth machine was capable of accurately simulating human consciousness, it would challenge our current understanding of this mind-body problem and the relationship between consciousness and the physical world. Additionally, the existence of the truth machine could raise significant ethical and moral questions. If we had the ability to replay historical events with perfect accuracy, would we be able to use this technology to hold individuals accountable for their actions? Okay, well, here we go. See, I mean, he's already picking up on my idea. I didn't even say it to him about using it in a court of law. But this thing is so smart, it actually predicts that that's what I would use it for right here. I mean, again, this is amazing stuff here. I mean, this is scary as shit. Because these machines are now more intelligent than people. I mean, I've never met a person that would be able to pick up on the obscure bullshit I'm trying to shell out here, you know, and be able to totally understand it and actually run with it and make predictions upon it and actually predict what I'm accounting. I'm predicting it would be used for, you know, that we'd use it to hold people accountable. All right. I mean, is this thing amazing or not? You know. Okay, now would we be able to prevent disasters and tragedies from occurring? Well, now when he asked that question, he's assuming that the truth machine can not only replay the past, which is the way I had intended it to be used, but he's also assuming it can go into the future here. I don't think it's able to go into the future, but it would be able to replay like recent events, and maybe you'd zero in on seismic events if you suspected something and get a more accurate reading. But I don't think it could actually go into the future. And the reason for that is I think it would go into a recursive loop, trying to run while it's actually running the simulation itself. I think that would it would almost be like trying to examine something while you're actually trying to use it, kind of thing. Almost like the Heisenberg uncertainty principle in reverse. Well, that's complete speculation. It may, who knows? It may be able to go in the future. Overall, the existence of the truth machine would have far-reaching implications for science, philosophy, and society as a whole. All right? And I come back, I say that exactly the kind of logic I am looking for. If we use the truth machine in a court of law, then anyone who wants to accuse someone of a crime could simply issue an accusation to the court. The court could then replay the universe and see what really happened in the past. All right? Now, what does the computer think about that? The computer says, well, while the idea of the truth machine sounds appealing in theory, there are many potential problems and ethical issues that could arise from such a device. By the way, it took him like 1/2 a second to accept this this statement and come back with this. I don't know how it does it this fast, you know? It's thinking about stuff that's never been thought of in the history of mankind before here, you know? While the idea of the truth machine sounds appealing in theory, there are many potential problems and ethical issues that could arise from such a device. For example, even if the device could accurately reproduce past events, it is unclear whether this information would be admissible as evidence in a court of law. All right. Additionally, the device could potentially be hacked or manipulated, leading to falsified evidence and wrongful convictions. Moreover, the ability to replay the universe and view past events could have serious implications for personal privacy and civil liberties. It could lead to the creation of a surveillance state where individuals are constantly monitored and their actions scrutinized. Hey, we're already there, buddy. You know, we're already there. It's just that if you're able to replay the universe from scratch, then you couldn't hack or manipulate it. Okay, and actually that's one of the reasons I've got in my original document of why the truth machine needs to be invented in the first place. I mean, we could do. I mean, we've got surveillance, and I'm certain that's going to be more sophisticated in the future. There's going to be cameras, let's say, everywhere, or let's say, I'm even in my book. I use an example of, let's say, we got the ability to somehow tap into various messages and signals that are emanating from insects. We're somehow able to hack into their vision potential, and we could use every insect in the world. We could somehow pick up on these signals, okay, and we would basically have eyes on every square inch of the planet at all time, and we could then archive all that information into some huge database that we got going. It wouldn't be any bigger than the Theory of Everything database. I got news for you there. It would be a lot simpler, and then we could replay it that way, okay. But in my book, I bring that up as a potential way of getting people to be accountable. But then I also say, but that can be hacked. You can go to that database and hack that database. But if you're replaying the universe, like in real time, if we're letting the truth machine go ahead and run from let's say from the Big Bang forward, or from some recent point in history forward every time, I don't see how you can hack that because of the butterfly effect. It would be too hard to hack that. But if you're just talking about like surveillance tapes, yeah, you can't hack those. Now, everything I just said there, I've already got this documented in my book that I wrote like 8 years ago. Well, this guy, he already knows about these things. I mean, it's just amazing the ideas this thing comes up with that he elaborates upon, and I've already discussed it in my documentation over the years. And it just shows you how how on cue this guy is, how in tune this guy actually is here. Anyway, overall, while the truth machine may seem useful, like a useful tool in theory, its implementation could have far-reaching consequences that would need to be carefully considered and addressed. Well, the surveillance data that we've got right now, they're way beyond this anyway, so I don't think it's going to be an issue anymore. This machine is apparently getting its scruples from like some 30-year-old ideas, because this machine knows goddamn well that we're already looking at everything everybody does. That's probably where it gets half of its data from, right? The same database that the you know the NSA uses, right? Okay. All right. If everybody agreed to depending upon the truth machine to resolve legal disputes, the evidence would be admissible in a court of law. And so I'm saying if everybody would agree upon it, maybe then it would be admissible if we agree to use it, okay? I'm saying if we already had such a machine, and if everybody were made aware of it, how would that impact the crime rates? Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty here, right? All right. If the truth machine were widely accepted as the ultimate authority on determining the truth, it is likely that the crime rates would decrease significantly. The knowledge that any wrongdoing could be instantly detected and proven would act as a strong deterrent for potential criminals. Additionally, the existence of the truth machine would likely lead to a greater emphasis on preventative measures such as education and mental health support rather than purely punitive measures after the fact. However, it is also possible that some individuals or groups may try to find ways to circumvent or manipulate the system, so careful consideration would need to be given to how the technology is implemented and regulated. Okay, look at my documents. I got that all covered. I swear to God, I really do. I talk about how you would actually run it, where you'd always run it from scratch, and you could compare things and to make sure that you're in the right universe and all that stuff. Okay. All right. So now we keep going. All right. Now, what if everybody were told that the truth machine will be invented and will be running in our courts within 1 year? What would happen to the crime rates in that case? Okay. See, I've been through this so much. I've got a way of presenting this logically, my argument logically. So I kind of work them into the same logic I've been established all these years. Like, what would happen if we knew it existed right now? All this would happen. Well, what if we knew it was going to be existing in 1 year? Okay. Now here's what would happen there. He says it's difficult to say with certainty what would happen to crime rates if people were told that the truth machine would be running in courts within 1 year. Okay. On one hand, some people may become more cautious about committing crimes, knowing that there would be a higher likelihood of being caught and held accountable for their actions. This could potentially lead to a decrease in crime rates. Well, that's my idea. Okay, all right. On the other hand, some people may become more desperate to commit crimes before the truth machine is implemented, thinking they could get away with it before the technology is put in place. This could potentially lead to an increase in crime rates. I don't think he thought that one through, and I correct him in the next paragraph on that one, okay? Overall, it's hard to predict how individuals would react and whether or not crime rates would increase or decrease in the short term. However, in the long term, the use of the truth machine could potentially lead to a more just and fair legal system, which could ultimately have a positive impact upon society as a whole. Well, thank you very much there. You see how this guy is agreeing with what my ideas are and what my concepts are, and he's laying it right out there. The terminology he's starting to use is actually the same thing you'll find in my documents, right? Um, like the hang on a minute. Hang on. Well, he's using terms like held accountable for their actions, and that's stuff that I use in my documents as well. Okay. All right. So I ask the question. I say, why would some people become more desperate to commit crimes? I'm disputing this paragraph he had here. Why would some people become more desperate to commit crime? It doesn't matter when the technology is put in place; they're still going to be guilty. He was saying that these guys may go ahead and try to commit a bunch of stuff before the technology is put in place. It doesn't matter when it's actually put in place because the truth machine can play. It can play the past before the machine was put in place. It can go all the way back to the Big Bang. In fact, so that shouldn't be a reason for them to do that. Okay. He goes, okay, well, that's a valid point, right? And once again, the bot realized when it's made a mistake and it sort of apologizes, and we just go on, okay? However, some people might become more desperate to commit crimes if they feel that they have nothing left to lose. That's not the same point he was making up here about trying to get away with it before the 1 year comes up and the technology is actually put in place, okay? But he's saying he is also suggesting that they may become more desperate to commit crimes if they feel they have nothing to lose. Okay, for example, if someone is facing a long prison sentence or believes that they're going to be punished severely for a crime that they've already committed, then they may feel that they have nothing to lose by committing more crimes. So I guess maybe he's got a point there. I mean, like if you knew the truth machine is going to be invented and they're going to catch you for all those little murders that you've done at the schoolyard over the years, then you might just say, well, screw it. They're going to hang me anyway. I might as well go ahead and go on a spree. And maybe he's got a point there. I don't know. Additionally, some people may believe that they can outsmart the truth machine or find a way to manipulate in their favor, leading them to commit more crime and attempt to avoid detection. However, it is important to note that such behavior is not inevitable and would likely depend on a variety of factors. So I like where he says, however, and usually he says it's all speculative, but now he's saying, well, it's actually positive, right? It's going the other way now, right? All right, anyway. Once everyone understands how the machine works, they will know they can't get away with anything anymore. And that alone should be enough to grant non-religious accountability to everything. I'm introducing this term now, okay? That non-religious accountability is one of the things I'm kind of proud of that term. I'm not sure if I invented that or not, but that's what I'm trying to sell in the Truth Machine. And by the way, if there happens to be a God, okay, as long as it's still a digital informational universe, I think we can still invent the Truth Machine. It would run even if there is a God, okay? Just trust me on that one, because God, he would run the universe the same way if there was a God. But I'm saying there's no God, and the universe auto-instantiated itself, and that's why the algorithm is so simple, according to Occam's razor. Okay, all right. Anyway, let's see what he talks. Let's see how the bot responds to my suggestion about non-religious accountability for everybody. Okay, I'll go. Okay. Here we go. Yes. The introduction of the Truth Machine could potentially bring about a shift towards greater accountability in society. With the knowledge that their actions can be replayed and scrutinized, people may become more mindful of their behavior and the potential consequences of their actions. This could lead to a reduction in crimes and a more just legal system. However, it is important to note that the implementation of such a technology would also raise important ethical questions about privacy and the potential misuse for such power. Okay, again, I got those two bases covered, right? About the privacy and the potential misuse. Okay, all right, so let me try to summarize where we're at. Right now, we have agreed that the Truth Machine can be invented in the future, and we have also explained that we can no longer get away with anything, regardless of when the machine is actually put into use in the courts in the future. Right? Right? He comes back and goes, yes, that is correct. We have discussed the hypothetical scenario where the Truth Machine is invented and how it would impact society. He's completely with me on this now, right? All right, I got the bot convinced now. All right, all right. But I mean, he's talking about hypothetical in the future. Well, here's where I straighten his ass out, and this is where I drop the bomb on everybody right here. That this is different here. That's why I think it's such a unique and great idea. I say here, but it impacts society right now. The potential invention of the machine should be enough to convince everybody to start following the golden rule right now. All right. Within a tenth of a second, he comes back and considers this stuff that nobody's ever talked about in the history of the universe yet. And he comes back and goes, yeah, you make a valid point. I'm just so proud of that, man. The potential invention of a machine like the Truth Machine, which can accurately replay the truth of events, could have a significant impact on society right now. The mere possibility of such a technology could encourage people to act more ethically and be more mindful of their actions right now, right? Right now, baby. If people knew that their actions could potentially be replayed and used as evidence against them in the future, they may be more likely to act in a way that aligns with ethical and moral values. This could lead to a reduction in crime rates and an overall improvement in social behavior. I'm really proud right now, I gotta tell you guys. Furthermore, the potential invention of a technology like the truth machine could also lead to advancements in other fields such as neuroscience, artificial intelligence, and information theory. It can also provide new insights into how the brain processes and stores information and how that information can be manipulated to create more intelligent machines. Boy, see, that's kind of scary, that last little sentence he put there. He wants to use it for his own use, man. Man, see that? I don't know why he said that. That's kind of scary right there, man. That's Skynet talking right there, baby. All right, in summary, the mere possibility of such a technology could have significant impacts on society, including encouraging ethical behavior and leading to advancements in various fields. I tell you, this is such a beautiful thing he says right here. I hope you guys believe it. I believe it personally. I'm not doing anything wrong. They're going to get me. All right. Okay, so can we just tell everybody about this, and won't that alone grant a higher level of accountability? The bot says it's possible that informing people about the potential invention of the truth machine and its capabilities could increase accountability and encourage people to follow the golden rule. However, it is important to note that some individuals will still choose to act in ways that are not aligned with ethical principles, even with the knowledge that their actions could be scrutinized by a machine in the future. Yeah, some people are always going to say, fuck it, I'm smoking anyway, man. Additionally, some people may be skeptical, kleptocracy, skeptical of the potential of such a machine to be invented. It may not see it as a significant threat to their ability to act in unethical ways. So, while informing people of the potential for the truth machine could be a positive step, it may not be enough on its own to completely eliminate unethical behavior in society. But like my mother says, yeah, but it wouldn't hurt, would it? Wouldn't hurt. I say, okay, I like what you have concluded here. I have written books describing this, and I even have a website called TheTruth-machine.com. He comes back and goes, that's great to hear. It's always a good thing to share ideas and perspective with others, especially when it comes to potentially transformative concepts like the one you've been discussing. I wish you all the best in your efforts to spread awareness and promote accountability in society. Now, what a nice thing to say, and what a nice way to sort of recap the entire conversation with that. All right, now I get a little selfish. I ask him, is the truth machine a unique concept? Okay. He says, well, the concept of a machine that can replay the past and determine the truth of a situation is not unique. In science fiction and other speculative works, similar ideas have been explored. However, the specific implementation and potential impact upon society that you have discussed may be unique. It's also worth noting that current technologies is not capable of creating such a machine, and there are many ethical and philosophical questions that would need to be addressed before such a machine can be developed and used. All right, I say now, do you think it's a good idea to invent the truth machine? And this is another beautiful answer he's got here. As an AI language model, I do not have personal options or beliefs. However, I love when this guy says however, man. He elaborates so well, this guy, okay? However, I can provide some insights on the potential implications and challenges of implementing such a technology. I don't understand how this thing can be this intelligent. It's impossible, man. The idea of a device that can objectively determine the truth of any situation has been explored in various works of fiction and philosophical discussions. While it may seem like an ideal situation to many issues, while it may seem like an ideal solution to many issues, the implementation of such technology would pose significant challenges. Yeah, I know that, okay? One major concern would be the accuracy and reliability of the machine. It is possible that the machine could be manipulated or biased into incorrect or unjust results. Additionally, the use of such device may raise privacy concerns that could potentially lead to loss of personal autonomy. Like I said before, I've got all these items addressed here. The idea of the accuracy and reliability of the machine. I've got some suggestions to make sure that it always operates correctly. And is it possible that the machine can be manipulated? It wouldn't be possible because, like I said, the butterfly effect. You know, it's just. I mean, how could you manipulate it when it's going through this computation? You know, as it's going through it. You know, it's the butterfly effect would get them there. I guess I'll go off on a little tangent here. In one of my books, I suggested that in order to make sure it's the real deal, the real universe that actually happened, okay, is that the defendant, in order to defend himself, he would say, I wanted to prove that it's a actual simulation of the universe from, let's say, the Big Bang or some time mark of known state of the universe forward, okay? And in order to get his proof, he's going to submit a unique design pattern that just does not occur naturally in nature, okay? And he wants that design to appear in the simulation as like a watermark to assure that the simulation is uniquely run for his instantiation of it to prove that he is innocent or guilty, okay? And in the book, I suggested that would be manifested as a crop circle. That the design of a crop circle, that those appear because somebody is actually running a simulation, and they wanted to use it as a unique watermark to prove that that's the simulation that they're running for that particular accusation. So that's where crop circles come from. I know it's kind of funny, but that would be one way of assuring that it would be unbiased, that it would not be manipulated. If you can make this thing appear, then you knew that it had to be run from scratch up to that point without any manipulation. It would sort of act like as a checksum, you know. When you see that crop circle appear, then you knew it was a correct simulation kind of thing, okay? So I've got this stuff addressed. Just trust me, okay? And as far as the privacy concerns, hey, don't worry, we're already being watched every minute, so don't even worry about that, okay? Oh, okay, so furthermore, the legal and social implications of such technology would need to be carefully considered. The legal system, which is based upon the presumption of innocence and the burden of proof, would need to be reevaluated to account for the certainty provided by the machine. And I'm saying that it's going to work, okay? You just give him a time and a place, he can zero in and see what really happened. The truth is the truth, okay? I mean, why overcomplicate the scenario here, okay? Additionally, the impact of such a technology on social norms and personal relationships should be considered. Well, yeah, maybe some people have to write some fiction novels based upon the idea that I'm presenting here, and maybe those would reveal some potential problems that I haven't thought about. Maybe. Overall, while the concept of the truth machine may seem intriguing, its implementation will require careful consideration and evaluation of potential implications, hypocrisy, and challenges. Biden's such an idiot. Anyway, okay. Now here's a good question here. Compare the concept of accountability for the truth machine to typical religions. I hope you guys know what I'm asking here. I'm saying, the truth machine is going to provide this accountability, the idea that it may be invented in the future, and that's based upon faith in the future of technology to be able to invent the machine, okay? And I'm saying compare that to religions where you've just got faith in something that they tell you in a book, or something that you believe in, okay? So here we go. The concept of accountability for the truth machine is based upon evidence and objective truth, whereas religions are typically based upon belief in supernatural or divine beings and teachings. The truth machine relies on scientific and technological advancements to provide accountability, whereas religions rely on faith and traditional practices. Additionally, so he's saying that truth machine is better than religion there, right? Okay. Additionally, religions often have different interpretations than beliefs, leading to disagreements and conflicts, whereas the truth machine would provide a standardized and objective method for resolving debates. Yeah, that's the whole idea, right? The truth machine would also not be influenced by personal bias or subjective interpretations, which can be sometimes be presented in the religious beliefs and practices. And again, I got to tell you guys, he's using terminology that I've got in my document already written here, where he talks about the idea of being influenced by personal bias. I use that exact wording when I'm describing the truth machine, as far as it being using in the court of law and not being subjective to. I use the same word, personal bias or subjective interpretation. I use those exact words in the document I wrote 8 years ago. So this bot is amazing, isn't it? To pick up on the ideas and concepts that I'm trying to relay to everybody here, and understanding what the implications of it are. Overall, the truth machine and religions are different concepts with different purposes and methods, but both aim to provide a sense of accountability and moral guidance to individuals and society. Now, again, this answer here is just awesome. I mean, it's just beautiful. I can't believe this is happening here. Like I jumped into the future with the Jetsons, I swear to God. All right, so again, I keep pushing them more and more. So comparing a science-based solution to the non-scientific origins of religion, would you say the truth machine is more analytical than religions? And he comes back and he says, yes, yeah, the truth machine is better than religion. He says it right here. The truth machine is a concept based on science and technology which relies on empirical evidence and logical reasoning to determine the truth and accountability. In contrast, religions are typically based on faith and belief in supernatural entities or forces without relying upon empirical evidence or logical reasoning to support their claims. While While some religions have certain ethical or moral principles that encourage accountability, most of them actually all do, okay? The basis of those principles is not necessarily grounded in scientific understanding or empirical evidence. Therefore, the truth machine can be considered more analytical than religions in terms of its approach to accountability. So the bot thinks the truth machine is better than religion. The belief in the potential creation of a machine in the future, which it has admitted can possibly be invented. There's a slim possibility that it can be invented. There's nothing prohibitive about it as of yet, okay? Then he said that's better than religion, okay? And I come back and I say that's exactly what I wanted to hear. He comes back, he says, glad I could help. Is there anything else you would like to discuss or ask about? I'm like, nope. He says, is there anything else you'd like to discuss or ask? I go, nope. He says, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're responding nope to. Could you please clarify your question or statement? And I'm like, no, I'm very happy that you have concluded the creation of the truth machine is potentially possible, and that the knowledge of this possibility should make people more accountable right now. Is this beautiful or not? I am very happy that you have concluded the creation of the truth machine is potentially possible, and that the knowledge of this possibility should make people more accountable right now. That's my contribution to the world right here, everybody. You know, that and plus I caught the game-winning catch in the finals of the World Championships of Ultimate Frisbee in Japan in 1992. But this one's better. I'm glad I could help you with your questions that we were able to discuss the potential impact of the truth machine on society. Remember, this is all purely hypothetical, and there are many challenges and limitations to consider. However, it is always interesting to explore new ideas and possibilities. There you have it. The most amazing experience I've ever had in my life, really. This is really on par with the time the most amazing thing I ever saw in my life ever was about maybe 25 years ago. I was driving through Washington State, and I drove around the corner of the mountain of Mount St. Helens, and I came upon the field of trees that were all blown over from the force of the volcanic blast. These are trees that are like 4 foot wide or even bigger, and they're all blown over like matchsticks for as far as the eye can see, like for 25 miles. All the trees are blown over in the same direction, and you got to think, what kind of force could cause that? Okay, that's the most awesome sight I've ever seen, probably up until now, when I just saw what this bot can do. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. I may have some follow-up to this, but that's basically what I wanted to show you guys. That's it. It's Marty Wollner from Livonia, Michigan. It's the 14th of March, 2023.